Hello, it's D Chill back at the discussion. So, what I want to discuss today is going to be a topic about the Putin situation. Putin has been putting out information that everyone's scared of or they're not sure about, and they have their concerns because he's considered to be the opposition, the enemy. But in actuality, he's only telling the truth. Yeah, they had the votes and they could have been open a while ago, but the truth of the matter is you just have to go into your Bible and look and see what it says in the Bible. It talked about Jesus' skin tone in the Bible. I believe it was in uh, Revelations and in Matthew and Mark. I'm not exactly sure. It also talked about the skin tone of the Hebrews or the people that are in the Bible and Song of Solomon. They were talking about how Solomon was black but comely, and comely meaning good. There was so many other different references that were made in the Bible that we skimmed over, we went past, didn't pay attention to. But the truth is, it was always right there. It's just that we didn't pay attention to this information. We always looked at the pictures that America has given us or the European world has given us and said, oh, this has to be true because it was done in America, the land of the great, the free, the home of the brave, and all that old weird stuff. And they hide all the scandalous things that they are doing or have done in the past. But this is the time because I'm going to break something else down to you. 2019 didn't just happen. The world pretty much stopped for however many months it was. This just didn't happen. From 1619 to 2019, we have been stuck up here going through whatever we were going through, and the reality is we were we were told in the Bible in Genesis that we were going to be sitting up here stuck for 400 years going through slavery, going through it didn't really just say specifically slavery, but it talked about what we were going to be going through, all the different issues that we would have when we were in a different country, if you will. But the point is, all this stuff was talked about, and well, again, we glossed over it because we didn't want to say, oh, Egypt, that was our 400 years. No. Mathematically, it was impossible for them to be in Egypt for 400 years because if you look at the timeline and you look at the time of Moses, his birth versus his dad's birth or death, there was not enough time for them to be there 400 years. So that wasn't the 400 years or the not the 40. That wasn't a timing you could say, well, this was the Bible was referenced these moments. This was going to happen and it has already taken place. Nah, that's not where we're at. The point is, we had to get past that to get to where we are today. So this is the thing I wanted to also dive into. I was able to do my own DNA and got my DNA checked. And if you get your DNA checked and you really look at it, it'll show you where you're from. It said I'm 40% Nigerian, 8% Sweden, 6% Dutch. Now here's the kicker. What are we considered up here in America? Us people that are considered black, which is a color, not a nationality. We're considered African Americans. So if I'm African American, I think that means that I'm 50% African and 50% American, if I'm correct. Then why is it that when I check my blood DNA, it says I have 1% American blood? See, these things I'm talking about, all this I'm going to upload along with the video to show you the proof, the evidence that you guys have been slipping and missing all the African, black, Hebrew, whatever you want to call yourself. You guys have just been buying whatever America tells you. I mean, it's sick and sad when you got gang members. And I'm not going to mention the cat's name. He referenced something that I talked about. And, was like, well, I'm not sure what he's saying, if this is true, what Putin's talking about. And he was like really defending America as if America has never done nothing wrong up here and as if Putin just had all this evidence and he just did this maliciously because he's trying to get back at America for whatever sanctions and all this old corny stuff about the Ukraine war. No, it's just the truth is the truth, and it's time for it to come out. They know that the original people that were Hebrews were African, the real Jews. They know that these Caucasians that claim it in the Eastern worlds and all that, they're not the true people from the motherland. So it's just we were getting brainwashed and mollywopped and whatever else you want to call it by this system up here. So we had to get it together and wake up and fine tune our stuff. So I just wanted to really briefly touch on that. I really didn't want to spend too much time because I don't have all the information right here. So as I'm telling you, I can pop it up. But I really plan to get everything put together so when this video comes out, you'll be able to look into it and be like, okay, everything this dude has said pretty much is matching up to what he had told us and he put out, in support of his reasoning or theory. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I just wanted to break that down real quickly, and I'll be back at you guys with another portion of the discussion. Y'all take care. Welcome again. This is D Chill at D Chill the discussion, and I wanted to have a topic about. I'm gonna tell you guys a story of how when I used to do gospel rap, I was able to go and perform on the BT Bobby Jones special. That's what they used to call it, or something along those lines. And I'll never forget when I went out there to go do my song. This is a little bit. Some of this is be after I did the song. So I'm dressed in a three-piece white suit, and I'm looking pretty sharp. And but as I'm getting ready to go up there, this was one of the brothers. His name is T-Bone. I forget the name of the group, but I think the movie was Kingdom Come, or I forget the name of the movie. What's the name? Cuba and Beyonce starred in it before Beyonce was really big. They did a movie together, and the guy that was rapping on there, his name is T-Bone, and there are two more of the guys on there. They're all in one group. Well, they were there as well, but they weren't performing. I forget why they were there. Maybe just to support the rest of us, or I forget. This was a while ago. This is 2001, but nevertheless, he told me when he had seen, he's like, man, when I see you in that suit, I'm thinking, oh, this brother about to go up there and blow. You could just tell he could sing. He said, man, I had no clue. When you came up there and started rapping, it just threw me completely off. But the thing that got me all pumped as I'm up there, because for one, you're nervous. No matter how much people know D. Chill Dorian as a talker, or I used to be a talker, man, look here. When you're in front of hundreds of people, thousands of people, even a couple people, you don't know and you're on the stage, you get nervous. So I'm already nervous for knowing I'm gonna be on television in front of all these people. But I gotta tell you, that cat and the rest of his crew made it so much easier because they came down from wherever they was to the front row and was like, get it. They was pumping me up. And I'm like, these cats are known artists that already have something out, and they're up there pumping me up like I've been doing it for 20 years, like I'm the guy that's their big homie. So it really pumped me up to go harder in doing my song. So that was just a great moment, and it really was exciting. But I wanted to share that. But here's the thing that was really a trippy situation. I don't want to get too far into this because it can go the wrong way. Well, I never seen the video of me performing on the Bobby Jones Gospel Show. I never to this day have ever seen the video. I've had people stop me literally in the airport and say, you're that guy that was on BT. They had that white suit on. I'm like, yeah, you seen that? Because I'm shocked because I never seen it. I didn't know it aired. And they're like, yeah. So it's really sad that I never had a chance to even see my own self. But the thing of it is that they had did something that was backhand wrong and it shouldn't have been done. And I had a chance to talk with the lady that was involved and getting all of us to this show. So come to find out, she didn't like the way how things were done, and she said, "I'm gonna go ahead and get you connected with us on the." Donnie McClurkin was starting to do his own show, so Donnie McClurkin was doing his I forget what they called it. So she called all the people that were on the Bobby Jones who wanted to go. That's what it was. I was supposed to do 2 songs, and I was only able to do one. So they tried to have me come and perform with Mary and Kirk Franklin the next day, which was going to be at Tennessee's their stadium where the Titans play at, and that's where they were going to hold their performance. I was at Howard University where I did my performance at. My uncle worked for the Pentagon at the time, so I stayed at his place. So anyway, so here we are getting called because I'm getting called because they knew it was wrong. I should have got more time, paid $750 to be on this show, had to pay for my own airfare to get down there. That's what happened right now. Sorry about that, y'all. Somebody trying to call. But so my thing was, look here, however you guys get me back on the show, I'm happy and thankful. It is what it is. So she's like, no, we're going to put you on with Donnie McClurkin. So anyway, fast forward. Sorry about that. Too much talking. We down here in Tennessee. I'm doing my thing with on his show. And what's the name? Kirk Franklin. Before I go to perform, he's walking down the aisles. And out of all these people that's inside this room, he reaches over and grabs my daughter and pinches her on the cheek and kept on moving. And that just shocked me. Like, this guy just come to us out of everybody. So the next day, it's time for me to do my performance because they had different things set up. So the next day, it's time for me to do my performance. Remember, y'all, I am a new booty to this game when it comes to being a rapper, whatever artist you want to put it. I got up there and got to doing my song, The Devil Can't Get None. And man, look here. Donnie McClurkin's sitting there. There's 3 people that's in front of this stage. And one of the Winans brothers. And his sister, what's the name? My Lord. The Winans sister, she was supposed to be there, but she didn't come. But anyway, so as I'm doing my song, and I'm up there trying to get into the flow of it, the people in the background, they're all pumped up, singing the hook for me. They didn't change the hook up. They're in the background talking about, the devil can't get none, whoop, whoop. The devil can't get none, whoop, whoop. I mean, had it rocking in that joint. So I'm sitting there pumped. And then when I'm done with the song, I'm getting off the stage. These folks are still hollering, the devil can't get none, woo, woo. And I just really feel empowered through them. Like, man, these folks are really digging that I was, but it was just the sense of, hey, we're all on this together. We're supposed to be, as Christian folks, we're supposed to be one. So it was just a blessing, man, just for that, to have that kind of exposure and to be in a different city and to be loved like that or appreciated. It was just a good feeling, man. But I've been wanting to kind of tell that story for a minute. I thought about it and I kind of didn't want to at one minute, but I was like, man, I got to share with the people how it was when I was out there for that brief moment. So anyway, y'all, that's my time. I hope you enjoy it. There's more to come. Again, this was D Chill at the discussion. Hello, this is D Chill at the discussion. I'm going to bring you a story that took place in the early 80s with a guy. Let me give you the backstory. This guy, later on in life, maybe to this day, was well known and he put it down. However, when we were younger, we were cool and we hung out. Not a whole lot because he lived in the South End and I lived in the CD, but we're talking pre B-boy days almost. I think we're talking almost before OTB, NBA, SEC, D-Dub, if you will, because I think SEC was before. I'm not 100% sure. Don't get upset with me, D-Dub. I know y'all are gold, but I don't remember. But these were those days, because we were literally real young. So anyway, Me and Nudy, and no, this time it was just me and Nudy. We went to a store, and as kids, we were walking around pilling. That's called stealing back in the day. That's what we used to do. What else you gonna do when you're broke and you're hungry? You gonna go make it happen. You ain't finna sit there and stay hungry. So we went and made it happen. Found us some meters to pick, or we stole something up out of some stove. But we was going to eat. Now, in my mind, I'm like, these folks and took everything anyway. It's okay for us to take a little bit back. But so I'm sitting there like, okay, man, let's go hit up a store because we both was hungry. So we go hit the store, and I get pot. Nudy didn't get popped, so they take us to the county. But no, let me back up. I'm gonna tell you this portion first, and this is kind of why me and him became even closer. Me, Nudy, a partner of ours named Marcus, and my brother, my blood brother, Khalil Palmer. That's my bro. We all was down on the water at this old curiosity shop on the pier. I think that's what it used to be called, OE Curiosity Shop. Yeah, it's on the pier. We're down there again. We're being thieves, and we trying to get something. And the security dude must have caught me either trying or I got it, but for whatever reason he hemmed me up quick. But he didn't just hem me up and take me out the door. The boy hemmed me up, picked me up, took me to the door, and then pretty much just launched me out to the and I hit the ground, get back up, I'm hot. And the only person that stood up for me that was ready to go, and I'm talking, he's going nuts more than me, and I just got thrown on the ground by this white boy. It's Nudy, and Nudy's the smallest guy, and he still is, but he was the smallest guy, putting in the most work. He's ready to, and for anybody that knows Cleo like I know him, it was shocking to me because he's normally the first person to go berserk when it comes to any of us. My brother will tell you, he knew like, I still have never fought anybody in front of him. He's jumping in. That's just clear. He's not letting his brothers fight without him getting involved. So it was shocking to me for him to even not do anything at the moment. Nudy took all that. He just went full throttle towards this white dude, big old white dude. Back then, I thought he was about 6'7", but you know, when you're a kid, everybody looks super, super tall. So that's how me and him became closer because I was like, man, this little cat, again, I'm just meeting him, so to speak, whether it was through the juvenile or whatever, but I'm just getting to know him as a person. So we became even closer. So now here's the time when I get popped. Fast forward, I get popped at the store stealing a sneaker at that. Get caught stealing a sneaker. I remember the store on 3rd and Seneca. The store still there, and I'd be like, man, I can't go in there. They banned me for stealing. But anyway, so they take us to jail. They just took him because he was with me, but they didn't take him as an accessory because I was the one that got. Anyway, so let's get to the main meat of this. We got to the jail for the first time. I was able to call home because all my times we didn't have no phone. Mama didn't have no money back then, so we didn't have no phone. So it was a first for me to be able to call and get myself out of trouble. So they had called my house, called my mom, so she had to come down and come and get us out. So she's coming down to get us out of jail. And this is what she says. We're in the elevator, and she says, Dorian, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You got this little boy in this trouble. And you just so wrong. I can't remember every word. I do remember those first things she said, but she just went on and on, like how he just looked like such a nice little boy, and here you are stealing and got him in a bad situation. You're just wrong for that, Dorian. You got this look. And I'm sitting there looking at Mama like, are you serious? And Nudy's over smiling because he knew he was a klepto and he was off the chain worse than me. And that's what threw me off. Like, Mama, you don't know this cat. He is a mess. You think I'm something. But anyway, it was just a trip of how my mom thought, here I am, because I was bad, always to get into something. Here my mom thinking that I'm the bad guy, and I done got him into trouble, not knowing that he and I was on equal playing field. We both were scandalous, putting in work. I mean, not putting in work, doing stuff like that. I'm talking about just stealing. This is before Crips and Blood in Seattle. We didn't have none of that. We didn't even have the G's up there openly at that time. It was just the old Seattle. Just that's just how it was. But anyway, so I just wanted to share that story because sometimes we get a lot of bad raps from different people because we had our wars. Unfortunately, to this day, we had our situations, and it always struck me as weird. Like at one point, me and this dude was really close, and then gangs come up here and it changed your outlook on how you feel about this person and that person. But it never changed me. I never looked at him any differently unless when we got into a situation. That's about it. But other than that, nah, I could consider him a good dude to me at that time. But that's my story for today, y'all. I just wanted to give a shout out to Nudy and his brother Marvin. Y'all still good guys to me. Have a good one, y'all. I'm out. Welcome to the discussion. I'm D Chill, your host. Look here, we're going to talk about a couple different things here. And one of them is going to be a good buddy of mine was telling me last night, just reminding me of the different things that we done done, we done been through when we were hanging together. And it was just shocking, some of the things that he mentioned that I had forgot about. And normally I'm good with remembering old school or old events. So he reminded me of a time that we almost went off a cliff in his brother's car due to some black ice and me fronting and wanting to be looking so cool in front of these chicks. So here's how it goes. We're rolling through Seattle and we're like 3 cars deep. We're in my homeboy PD Rest in Peace, which is one of the triplets. We're in his Cadillac, I believe it was his coupe. They're in my Seville, which is right behind me, Big Nudy, and my other homeboy. And then there's these chicks, they're in a car load behind. So there's 3 cars, and we're caravanning. And we're going through the city, just moving, grooving, doing our thing. And it's a December night, and it was cold. But at this time, we're not aware. We're young. We're not aware of black ice, and I never knew anything about black ice. Now I know about when ice, period, but never heard of black ice. So we just rolling, just sheening, doing what we do. Now we're on our way going down to the water, because that was anybody that knows me. That was Dorian's thing. Whether we're gonna go get on the ferry and we're gonna go and smoke while we're going to Bremerton or Bainbridge for the next 45 minutes to an hour, depending on where you go, because I used to always do this, pack up a bunch of us, run down to the ferry docks, and make sure we get down there in time before the last ferry, I believe it's 12:40. we clockwork, we make sure we be there on time. And so anyway, either that or I get a cab and I go down to Madrona. I'll start from one end of Madrona, go all the way to the pits. For y'all that's from out of town, that's just a place where we used to have the hydroplane races at. We called it the pits, or my cousin, our family called it the pits. So I would smoke weed going down there and back. That's what I would do in the cab. That was my relaxation, to relax from the hustle and bustle of the street. So that's what I used to do. So anyway, we're on our way going down to the water, about to go smoke. And I'm just sheening down the back way of Madrona. I'm sheening, going down the hill, and I'm just doing what I normally do because I'm a driver. So I'm thinking there's no problem. And as I'm going down, I making that turn, and my partner who's videoing me, he'll know this area because he lives right up there in that Madrona area. But it's literally as you're like, let me not make this confusing. The number 2 route. As you're taking the number 2 as it's going down towards Madrona, that's the way we were going down that hill. And before, there didn't used to be no divider or whatever the thing is called, that so that you don't run off the other side. They have those rails up. Well, now they have a rail up there. It didn't used to be there. When we came sheening down that hill, and I tried to put on the brakes and it wouldn't stop, literally, we just kept going as I had my foot on the brakes. And we hit a truck and then hit a telephone pole. I think the telephone pole broke, because my homeboy left his dog in the car because he was so spooked. He just jumped out. We both jumped out and broke. But the trippy part is the part that we went over. It was a little bit of a cliff. It ain't no huge cliff like you about to die type of cliff. But the way this person's house was, the back part of it, it was like a cliff that you would have went off of. It wasn't. It's kind of steep, but not that steep. But anyway, so here's the Cadillac is hanging off in that joint, and we're jumping out on either side. And I get out, he gets out, and we break. A partner that's behind us, they said that the wires was popping on the ground. They trying to get out the way too. My homeboy gonna send one of our partners, man, go back and get my puppy. I'm like, boy, you gonna send that boy over that dangerous stuff? He might get shocked or electrocuted. You know, that's how it is when you the big homie on the little homie, you gonna send him to go do it. So that's what he did. He pulled his rank and had the little homie go do it. Hey, I couldn't be this. I didn't respect it. So we sent him, went and got the little dog, and we ski skirted out of there. We get up out of there, we get back to the house. Unbeknownst to us, it had made the news. That's how bad it was. And they had the nerve to say they don't know how the people that was in that wreck made it out alive. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, yeah, the telephone pole was broke, the car has been totaled, and it's hanging off a little slight cliff. Yeah, but I don't think it was that bad, but you know how the media folks do. They want to put extra on top of extras. But that cat had a nerve to, my passenger, my homeboy Devin, he had a nerve to say to me after we had got out the car, he said, man, my life flashed before my eyes. I said, boy, I told you put the seatbelt on. You kept wanting to be tough. No, Rob, I ain't putting on the seatbelt. Rob, I ain't putting on the seatbelt. Tika, I ain't putting on the seatbelt. And then when you almost died, now you thinking about it. Yeah, but man, it was a spooky, quick situation. I didn't mean it rougher and weirder things, but when you don't have no control of yourself and you about to feel like you through with money, it gets real then, and that's a situation that just got real on us real quickly. So that was my little story about that right there. For me and my homeboy, kind of got in a fender bender, and I love his older brother, the older triplet, my homie P, rest in peace. I was like, bro, I got you, man, because I totaled this car. I got you, bro. I know I got to get your car back. He's like, D, chill, I'm not tripping, bro. I understand how it goes, because he was in jail, and everybody wanted me to drive their car, because I was the driver. I'm telling you, I consider myself the best driver in Washington by far, because I make a car dance. I am extremely, yeah, I said it, I make it extremely do some things that you knew a vehicle could do. I was cold with these vehicles. So that's how I felt about it. But anyway, to my partner, man, he was kind of spooked. So was I. We got out of there pretty clean. Anyway, I'm rushing because I'm about to get to this next topic, because this one was a little bit out of my control, but a lot worse. So here's the thing. I'm in this cab downtown. I forget what part of the day it was. Year it was. But it was nighttime. We're downtown, and we're trying to get, I forget where we're going, but he was going down Yesler, trying to get back to 2nd Avenue. And so as he's going down through Yesler, there was 2 cars were pulled over. So it was police, and then there was 2 cars. Maybe they had a fender bender. So the dude, as he's trying to go around him, he hits one of the cars. And he goes around. I'm thinking, oh, okay, he just didn't have enough room or whatever. And then as he goes around, he hits the police car now. So then I'm like, hey, man, do you know that you just hit that quick? I'm going to ask him, did he know if he hit something? This boy didn't push the pedal to the metal. Now, this is going up 1st Avenue. You ain't got that much room to do no whole bunch of speeding on there, because you got 2 different lanes. He's speeding up 1st Avenue, busts a right on Cherry, and then goes to 2nd Avenue, where he's about to take that turn that right going down 2nd. And as he's doing all that, now I'm acting gangster, going crazy. Man, you don't stop this brother. Because back then I cursed, and I'm cussing this punk out, something crazy. I'm telling him, you better stop that. The boy turned around and looked at me with a calm look in his mouth and just said, Shut up. Look here. All the gangster, all the tough guy left me immediately. I mean, it was just all gone. Because when you don't have no control of yourself, because I'm thinking, if I just crack this boy in his head from the side, then what's going to happen? We might flip. So I'm really at a disadvantage. What can I do to stop this boy? If I put him in a sleeper, he died, we don't probably flip as well. So I was really sitting there stuck like, what can I do? And I couldn't do nothing besides sit there and pray and be scared. So he punches it. Shoom! He's going through red lights and red lights as he's going down 2nd Avenue. To this day, I don't, like, of course, God, I don't know what had stopped him. Because like by this time, there's sirens, there's lights behind him, and he's punching it. We only went from Cherry going, there's only a couple more streets before he ended up pulling over on Washington, which is right in front of the old Union Gospel Mission. Oh, it's still there. But at that time, that's where he ended up pulling over at. And I don't know what got this boy to stop at that time, but he finally pulled over. And when he's pulling over, I'm throwing up the door and I'm trying to get out this joint as quickly as I can. This nut had a nerve to get out and then start trying to run. And then when the police came and body slammed him, he wanted to try to fight back. So you know they wore him out right there on the concrete. They came and talked to me. Hey, you okay? I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good now. Maybe 2 weeks. I don't know how much longer it was. I'm in jail for something else. The police come in here to talk to me about this. I didn't know what they were coming for at first. And they're like, yeah, we're just coming to talk with you about an incident where, because I thought they were coming to talk to me about my own situation. Not that I was locked up for. I had a lawsuit against the state for when they had battery around my house. I told that story. But I thought they were coming to talk to me about that. And he was like, no, we're talking to you about that. You were in an accident with a cab driver and this, that, and the third. He's like, well, you know that cab company, they have insurance. So whatever pain, suffering that you had, you can go and talk with their insurance company about getting, paid back, whatever it's called. I'm like, oh, okay, man, I don't need to do that because I have a lawsuit against you guys. So I don't need to go and try to sue them for that. I'm already suing you guys. Like a stupid idiot. Man, I look back at some of the things I did back then. I mean, piss, poor, retarded, dumb. Gosh, it made no sense. Why are you going to the police station waiting outside for this boy to get off work and telling him, let's hit the corner because I want to beat you up. All that stuff you talked when you were down the terrace the other day. Yeah, you're off work now, partner. Literally, they got it on camera because they have their outside. Trust me, they got this information. I was stupid back in the days. And that right there was another prime example of doing just being dumb. That's my story for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, this is D Chill at the discussion. Hello, this is D Chill at the discussion. I'm going to give you an old school story today about how it was back in the days when it was just cruise and yeah. Anyway, so this story takes place back in the early 80s. My brother, through, and I would say as far as me and him go, the first house party that I've ever been to that me and my brother was a part of, and he threw this house party out in Des Moines area, and you had to catch the 132 or the 132 to get there. So anyway, he stayed with a couple sisters that we knew and their mom, and so that was real cool. So anyway, he's having a party, and everybody came. I'm talking people from the South, people from the CD, everybody came. It was nice, but I didn't see a lot of the different faces, but one person I did know and remember for certain that was there was Nudy. I mean, not Nudy, Nunu. And it was a trip because, he's OG B-Dub. And I was just like, okay, he's out here. I know the rest of the dubs are out here thick. But, again, I'm a youngster. I'm not the D Chill from MOA that running that crew. No, I'm a little young cat that's watching all the big guns. Mona, Cortina, Eltrina, Dime, rest in peace. Trina, rest in peace. Now that I think about it, all them legends, and I mention those females because them was my big homies at the time. I wasn't under Shannon Hatton and the Kurtz and Spade. I wasn't underneath them guys. I was underneath Mona and them guys because we went to school together. But Mona was our big homie. Even though she was a female, she was the truth when she had those hands. And she would put them on females and dudes real good. So, like I said, we used to go to school together, and then we're from the Central, so that was my partner. Plenty of stories to tell you about what she told me about the days of her and Breeze and the cruise. So, this particular night, like I said, everybody had went to my brother's thing. He was dating one of them guys, and like I say, who at the time, and we just out there kicking it. Party was live, success. We're thick. So now it's time to go. Everybody's going their way. Now, I could have stayed there and could have just chilled out and relaxed and went to sleep and been fine. But I wanted to be fast and wanted to run my little happy ASS with everybody else and wanted to go follow under Mona Cortina. Because, you know, Cortina was thick as all outdoors. And my goodness, you know, even though you're young, you still think you might have a chance. Dumb as it may sound now, but back then you thought you might have a chance. Maybe tonight you might be able to get. So I'm telling Mo, come on, man, let's go on back over them guys. We're going to go kick with them guys. So we following the crew, following everybody. It gets to the point where everybody's starting to disperse and go their own separate ways. And we didn't follow Mona and Cortina all the way down to their house, which is down there towards the UW. And it's nighttime. It's later now. It's almost 1 o'clock. And now it's getting close to 2 o'clock. And here we are sitting outside, stuck. Because I wanted to go follow up underneath these guys' skirts, thinking I was about to get something. So, man, it started getting cold. I went behind this store. I didn't found, because the store was 24 hours at that time, and I found a crate, found something to sit on, and started burning something just to try to keep me and Mo warm. We keep our hands over the fire, and it just got to a point, I'm like, nah, man, I had enough of this. Come on, Mo, help me get up here, because I went to the back side of their house, and I was thinking, maybe I can go up to their window, knock on their window, and maybe I can get inside. And Brother Reed could just get inside and be warm was cool. But, you know, on my mind, I'm still thinking I might have a chance at Cortina that night. Just missing. I'm telling you, when your mind is so sick about some sex, and I was really a sexual pervert at that time. Man, quiet as kept, one of my first names, if not my first name ever, was Freaky D. That was my tag. That's how scandalous I was about some sex back there. I was a fiend. So, man, it's sad. I'm sitting there at the thing trying to climb up. He finally gets me up to the top. So I'm up on the top of the roof, on top of this little shed thing, on top of the roof. And now I'm trying to knock light as I can, but to get their attention. I'm like, Mona Cortina, and they're not hearing me. So I do it a little bit harder, Mona Cortina. So I guess I just turn for a second, look down the Mo like, man, nobody hearing me. And I go do a Mona Cortina. It's a white face looking at me. And she pulls out a switch or some kind of rod and opens it. Oh, Mona Cortina, your ass, and starts whacking me. It was her grandma. Mona Cortina's in the bed because I know the setup because I've been in the house with them. So that means both of them are beds apart, and she came in between the bed to come to the window, and y'all didn't hear me knocking on the window. You didn't hear none of that, and Grandma just started letting me have it. So she whacked me enough until I got up off of there, and we just got ghosts and started walking back home. The walk of shame. So that was it, man. It was just a quick story, but it was a sad one. I thought I was really doing some fiending, rushing behind these females to get did in by his grandma, but grandma was cool. But anyway, that's my story, y'all. I just wanted to tell that one. I'm out. Hello, I'm D Chill, the host of the discussion. A story when I was being pulled over by the police, and when we were done, I was pulling him over. Sounds weird, sounds strange, but let me break it down. Like I told y'all, I could not stand the police. I really hated them people when I was younger, even though they came to my rescue several times with my mama. And when the cat put out a pistol on me when I was just a little kid, I've been through some things. So they have been there, but overall, they were wicked and scandalous and treated us really bad. So I always hated them for that reason. So one day I'm driving like I always did, habitual, wasn't supposed to be behind the wheel. No, at this time I just think I was suspended in the third degree. But in any event, police gets behind me, throws on the lights. I never forget, I'm in this red car, I'm in this cat, I named him his mama's car. I ain't gonna put him out there in his mama. But I'm in there, little red joint, and I'll never forget. So as I'm turning down Yesler, turning on Yesler, I'm coming down Bourne. I'm making a left turn. He hits the lights. So as we're going down Bourne, as I'm making the left onto Yesler, when he throws on the lights to get behind me, I bucked a U-turn behind him. He jumped behind me, I bucked another U-turn behind him. I did this at least 4 times until when it was all said and done, his vehicle was up against Tomboy's, which was our store on 12th and Yesler. His vehicle was up against the store, and my vehicle was behind him, like as if I just pulled the police over. This is just how stupid and scandalous I used to be. Just didn't care. So he gets out his car, and he goes to mine, and he's looked at me like, Dorian, move out the way and let me get behind you. Literally, knew I was as soon as he seen my face. It was that simple. And I just smiled, backed up, let him get out of his door. Think about this. He had to ask me to give him some space so that he can get his vehicle out. So now he can do the proper procedure and to get behind me and make it look as if he pulled me over when I didn't pulled him over. That's just how scandalous I was back in them days. I just did not care. I take it as it goes. And I go a step further. I don't think I can get hit for this right now, but I'm going to tell you how it went down. This is just me. I didn't like them coming in my neighborhood thinking they about to come and press nobody. And one day they came up there trying to sweat one of my homeboys, and it was just one police car. And I said, man, have you lost your mind? Do you know where you're at? This is the Yesler Terrace. You ain't gonna just come in here with one police car and think you about to interrogate or talk to anybody, do any of that. We're not finna listen to you, partner. You know they called more police. The person they were coming to sweat left him alone and took my hard-headed, retarded self to jail for obstructing justice because I had the nerve to run my mouth and tell them what they couldn't do in the Yesler Terrace. Like this was my place of business, like they weren't supposed to be there. This was just me. I was just really off the Rickers, a little dumb when it came to my neighborhood. It's really sick with it. But one time, the same store, Tomboys, they were sweating one of my homeboys. I ain't gonna say what kind of person it was, I'll give myself away. This police was talking to this cat, saying whatever the heck they were trying to say, interrogating them, whatever, right at the store, and they're sitting there talking. I'm standing on Bourne and Yesler. I had a Sprite in my hand. My cousin used to always tell me, boy, you have good aim. As a kid, he used to always tell me this. And from right where I was standing on Yesler, I launched that Sprite can and watched it go it just looked like it was just in the air, and then smack, hit the person right in the face like they had just got slapped. Do you know? All bets were off. Called in the folks, and they were coming from everywhere. Because you assault the police, it's a wrap. They coming for you. They didn't know what had happened. The person didn't know who had hit them because they were just in the middle of having an interrogation or interview with this person, and he just got cracked in the face from out of nowhere. But that's just how stupid I was back then. I just didn't care. But at the same time, I wasn't going to just stand around like, yeah, I did it. So I skedaddled up, got up out of there. But I would used to be spooked about telling that story. Like, man, I wonder if they're going to come get me for assault. Because that was a tough one, man. But anyway, we're going to debate if we're going to edit this or if we're going to even tell the story. I'm going to talk to my guy after this is over and see if this is even cool to release. But anyway, y'all, so I got some tough stories, but they're the truth. I don't lie. Go pull up the police report about that driving incident. Yeah, that's how I became habitual, reckless driving. And I got 6 tickets just that night. 6 tickets. Yeah, I was scandalous. But anyway, that's my time. Did you chill the discussion? This is a touchy subject. However, I feel it's one of those that should be told. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do my best to try to delete or use different names because I don't want nobody to get in any kind of trouble or anything. Some folks don't have to worry about it because it's past the statute of limitations. But some things, not too sure about. So here's the thing. A partner of mine that used to be from our crew, MOA, he was, word had come out to us that he had snitched on a big name. I'm talking a cat that I then went and got work from. They then came and bailed me out and everything. And always been real cool and solid with me. To this day, I think I still owe the cat for bailing me out way back in the 90s. He was just one of those solid, real cats, but didn't play. Period. So we get this is where you get the call that, yeah, you just got parked and your homeboy, he done told. So we'll just call this cat T. So T, we call this cat T. The cat that he told on, we're going to call him J. So Jay said, man, T done told on me. I don't have the paperwork right now, but my attorney just told me he's the one that ratted on me. That's how I got parked, and they're trying to cook me because of this cat. And I'm like, oh no, we have to get this. Ain't gonna happen on my watch, because I know how my stepdad raised me, and I know how bad it would look. That would look as a snitch. So what I tell this dude is, don't worry about it. We'll be able to find him, and we're gonna make some things happen. So he telling me, nah, when you guys see him, you guys need to just beat him and da-da-da. And I'm like, beat him up? He didn't snitched on you? Nah, ain't no beat him up. He needs to be taken to his people in the upper room. That's where we need to take him to go see his peoples. That's what we need to do. He wasn't trying to hear me at that point. So lo and behold, we're down. We're up in there, yes, or tears. And it's cold as I don't know what. But we're out there, we're grinding them, and there's a bunch of us because we were looking to come apprehend this cat because, and also Jay had told me, I'm gonna give you my people's number, my people from down in San Antonio. I'm gonna give you their number, and they're gonna be able to get him if you're able to apprehend him. This is after he told us to beat the boy up, which I didn't think was a good idea. Apprehend him was more better and easy to be done. So as we're trying to apprehend, as we're about to go and do the apprehension, out of nowhere, like I said, we're deep and we're in our hood and we're getting out of carloads. Out of nowhere, doom, 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 and I'm talking not like it was no 9 or no small handgun. I mean, it sounded like rapid fire, and it didn't stop for a moment. Doom da doom da doom da doom da doom da doom da. And I'm like, my heart's beating. I'm tripping because in my mind, the homies that wasn't with our bunch that got out of one car, they had got out of a truck or a van, and I wasn't sure if they had got hit or even got killed. So I'm sitting there really going through it, but at the same time, I'm smiling because I had on my sheepdog, old school sheepdog, and I had a fat one right in my pocket. So I'm literally standing behind. Anybody knows the terrace? We have a telephone booth right there. I'm standing next to it. I'm ducking down. I mean, and I'm smiling because I got my hand on my thing, and I've been waiting for this moment because I like to get off. And I just never been one of those. I'm just gonna go shoot at a person because they're a different color than mine. I wasn't with that gang banging. You say that for the people that invented it. That wasn't me. You had to do something to me or my people for me to go get at you. Never took none of my homies on no ride by, drive bys. I never did drive bys anyway. I'm gonna walk up on you and pop you. I just never did that old corny stuff. If I want to get you, I'm gonna get you. So, case in point, what happened right here. So this boy gets off and gets off. Mind you, I said it's really cold. So I'm not just a criminal. I was a smart criminal. So I sat there, like I said, kneeled down, and in my mind, I said, whoever goes past here with their window down, as cold as it was, remember I had a sheepdog on, I said, I don't care if it's an old lady. If she has her windows down, I'm lighting her up. Because anybody that got their window down, they must have been the one that just got through shooting at my people. Now, common sense, we know ain't gonna be no granny doing that, but in my mind, you must be with the people because you gotta think it could have been a smoker. She could be the one driving the car, and she could just be 80 years old still, and she got paid off to come and do this hit. And not saying she's doing the bussing, it could have been somebody in her car while she's driving. But my mind was, it has to be whoever has the window down. My bad, that was too much talking. So, car go past, I never forget, like a Subaru, window rolled up. Next car went past, this black dude, Seattle small, you just remember faces. Never seen this face before in my life. He was just looking intently with his window down, and I just sat behind there, smiling, but creeping now with his window down. Soon as he got out of view where he couldn't see me and couldn't get off on me, I come in the middle of the street. I'm not sure what I hit. All I know is I'm a good shot. And I know I was trying to get them up off of us. So I lit the car up as much as I could. I'm going to the middle of the street, trying to hit everything in the back, hoping I hit something. And while I'm busting, this should have been the thumbnail. The night I almost killed 2 of my homeboys. Because literally, this is what happened. As I'm busting in the middle of the street, I don't want to put your name out there, bro, but I'm gonna call this cat Nico. I wanted to call him Retardo for this dumb move he did. I'm getting off, and here comes Nico running in the middle of the fire. Not running away, not running with his head down like I'm trying to get to a car. He's breaking across the street while I'm bussing, and I had to literally stop. And I cussed him out on the spot. What the F is wrong with you, man? You know, you just literally almost got killed. Cause you running in front of me, busting on somebody. I mean, like, where's your mind at when you are a gangbanger? What makes you think it's time to get up and run again when they're shooting? We've always been told, stay down when this dumping happens. I had no understanding for this cat getting up and doing that, so I'm hot at that. So that stops. That's one episode out the door. We're walking around, me and him, because everybody else made their way, because when the first busing went on, everybody kind of scattered and went their own way. Well, I stood around and did what I did. So my homeboy Mo, rest in peace, I'll mention his name. So when I come around there, he's like, man, what the heck is happening? I was like, man, you know what? They get off and da-da-da. And so he's like, okay, so now what we about to do about this boy? Because now, I didn't say this earlier. He was there when we got out and we're talking. We were talking. He was right there as we're talking. But I'm playing it off with him like, hey, what's up? Just playing the role. Then they had started busting. So he ran with the group that was with us as if everything was cool. So Mo's talking to me away from him, like, okay, so what we gonna do with old boy? I was like, I'm about to apprehend him. I'm about to get a cab, play it off, take him to my apartment. I had an apartment townhouse in Berrien. We're gonna take him out there. We're gonna call Jay's people, and they're gonna come get him. So we don't have to mark him out, cause I'll pop him right here. But he's like, I'm like, no, we're just gonna get him to them people. Mo looks at me and like, man, you're tripping, man. We need to get him right now. And I'm in my mind, I'm like, are you serious? You're questioning me? I've been out here doing this for the longest, partner. I mean, why in the heck you gonna question something that I'm saying to do as if you got more stripes than me in the streets and I'm supposed to follow your lead now? Just because you big and you my homeboy, that don't mean that you have the right idea or you've done these type of situations longer than me. So anyway, I let him go on his little rant about I'm tripping and we need to do whatever we're gonna do. He goes across the street, he plays the role, starts talking to T as if everything was cool, crack, breaks his nose right there on the spot. He's holding his nose, but unbeknownst to Mo, oh no, my bad, I didn't mention this. As I'm coming around the corner with Rico that jumped out in the middle of the gunfire, the cat T, he tells me, because I still had a thing in my hand, oh, put it over here, man, in the bushes. Because remember, this was my homeboy. Mind you, he'd been my homeboy, like I said, for years. So he'd been out in these streets and he know how it goes. So I'm listening to him and I throw the gun, still not, my mind off the shooting that just happened. I'm not thinking, what am I doing throwing the gun? This is the boy we're coming to apprehend. But it just was so quick. I was like, yeah, I do need to get out my hand anyway. What the hell am I holding the gun for? And I just did a shooting. So I did throw behind the bush. But like I said, unbeknownst to Mo, this boy know what a pistol is. So he goes right towards the pistol. And I'm thinking to myself, and you want to act like you're so tough. And you don't even know this boy know what my gun is. So I had to run over there fast and snatch my joint up. And I said, nah, you out of pocket. You and Rex been snitching, got the crew looking bad. Yeah, I called him out. And it is what it is. Everybody knows his name. He told on the whole town pretty much and got our crew looking really bad. I'm talking about Rex now. But so I had just made that point because I was pissed because now he's trying to grab the gun and he's trying to T is trying to hit Mo for hitting him. And I had to just check him. Yeah, bro, we just come down here to get you because you're out of pocket for snitching. So he runs towards the alley and what somebody said, he's going to get his girl's gun because we didn't know his girl was even down there and she held the pistol. The boy knew that he was going to somebody was coming for him, so he was prepared. He just didn't have it on him. This is D Chill. I hope you enjoyed my story at the discussion.